break up, don't speak for a couple of weeks. I'll be in his place till he calls and says he's sorry. This situation's on repeat, just like a scratch on a CD. It just gets deeper when you hit rewind. How many nights will you make this decision? Nights ending tears and it's blurring your vision. You know he don't love you, hurt you holding on to. Scream through the phone even though he won't listen. So I'm still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left hearing you say that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than you rescue? I'm feeling kinda used, yeah, like a drug that you take when you're sick of crying all your tears away. Is that all I am? All I want is for you to be happy. You know this ain't healthy. Do I make you happy? How many nights will you make this decision? Nights ending tears and it's blurring your vision. You know he don't love you, what you holding on to. Scream through the phone even though he won't listen. So I'm still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left hearing you say that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than you rescue? I'm doing everything he doesn't do, but I'm still not enough. Even your parents know I'm good for you, but I'm still not enough. You wanna be done with him, you're stuck with him, 'cause you don't have the guts. And after all I've done, I'm still not enough. Still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left hearing you say that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than you rescue?
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to more North American ESL Challenger League here in Season 45. I'm Boggs, joined again with Pineapple Phillips. And Nate, the season's winding down. We're starting to gear up into playoffs. And that means pretty much every game does mean something down the stretch. And for the Timbermen, it means they might not have to play in the relegation tournament.
Yeah, as you mentioned, a few games left. Quite a few of them have been incredibly impactful. We talked about the Mythic and B-Hop game yesterday. If B-Hop took that one 2-0, they would have avoided the relegation tournament. It's a very similar situation here and now for Timbermen, who have not had the best of seasons. They're against a very difficult opponent, though. That is EG Black. And while we're talking about this matchup, let's check out the schedule for tonight as well. Again, very similar to last night, we do have another game on the A stream or ESL_CSGO that is going to be delayed a little bit, if I'm not mistaken. I think Nouns has a qualifier they're doing right now, so it'll be delayed to accommodate that. So again, very similar to last night, but talking about our actual game, Evil Geniuses versus Timbermen. Evil Geniuses Black have looked quite good thus far. Again, Junior, a player that you see pop off quite a bit as an individual star, and Walco, Hex, Rush, George, this newly reinvigorated EG team, and EG Black has looked incredibly good. Timbermen, they've also done quite a bit of retooling. We talked about Frankie before throughout this season. But we also have to talk about Project 90, a recent addition to the roster coming up from Advanced to fill out the rest of this Timbermen team.
Yeah, it's an interesting pickup. I haven't seen much of Project 90 play, so I'm not sure what to expect. He's replacing Jitter, and Jitter is somebody that a lot of us in North America have had our eyes on for a minute. Back when that original Strife roster made its way through ECL a few seasons ago, now is where he really started to catch some eyes. But this EG Black roster, it is arguably as good, if not better, than the EG main roster. Just an anecdote on that point before we look at the standings. The fact that EG main played Nouns in a best of one and a qualifier, which is why the Nouns game was delayed yesterday and is delayed again today. It was a 16-8 win for Nouns. EG Black played the best of three in ECL against Nouns following that one and got more rounds on each map, the two maps they played, which they both lost, than EG Main got on Nouns. And speaking of Nouns, they're on a pace for a flawless season of ECL, joining the likes of Made in Brazil, taking down Pain, who I think Pain might be the best Brazilian team in Brazil right now, Nate, given how Furia went out 0-3 the legend stage of the major too. Nouns are looking up and up, which is always something to be impressed with how well this team has been able to stick together.
Yeah, again, retooling consistently. It feels like they never got a break, and yet here they stand still at the top of the board, 6-0, potentially even 7-0 by the end of the night. They're playing fluffy aimers. Remarkable performance from them. Pain, as you mentioned, probably the best team in Brazil right now, or best Brazilian team is the best way to put it. Furia bombing out of the major. I think four of the five players on that team were at the bottom performers in that part of the major.
And I think Art was their best player this whole the legend stage.
And he still didn't do well either.
No.
It was Fury trying to reinvent the wheel, their aggressive style. They said they were coming off the aggressiveness. This is something you could really dive into deep. We will just touch on it here, but it feels like they lost their identity. And so I do feel like Pain has filled that gap as the best Brazilian team in Counter-Strike currently. But who knows? Furia could reinvent themselves going into Counter-Strike 2. That is a perfect time to do so. Only time will tell. But back to our actual game, EG Black and Timbermen. I don't know what to expect from Project 90. I think get that out of the way now. A relatively new addition. We know that we have one star on the roster in Dare, 1.17 HLTV rating in the last 3 months. He is the one shining spot for this Timbermen team. If Project 90 can assist him in any way, they might have an opportunity. But again, EG Black have been on a tear. They have been a monstrous team, and they are honestly the one bright spot we've seen from EG at all in the prior months and the prior moves in general.
Yeah, they really have been that one bright spot on EG. They're consistently making the playoffs at ECL, qualifying for tournaments at the Challenger level as well. And when we look at their record 4-2 right now, a win here should get them a third seed in the group, 5-2 record. Now, that does also require Nouns to beat Fluffy Aimers in the other game tonight, but for EG Black, it's a win, seeding, and momentum going into the playoffs. Momentum is always good for a team, and for EG Black, they would like to have a little bit of a boost through there, and if they could do some damage in the playoffs, who knows what they could do in the future. But when you look at Timbermen, they're trying to stay out of the relegation tournament. Anything could happen down there. It's 2 losses and you're done, gone, sent to the doldrums of advanced, almost exiled, it seems. You don't have a lot of yo-yo teams in North American ECL, teams that go down and then come right back up again. Once you go down, it's very, very difficult to get back. And for Timbermen right now, it's modus operandi. Stay in ECL. Do not risk losing out on this spot they fought so hard to get. And to lose a player of Dare's caliber too, I think would be a pretty big blow to North American ECL. He's one of our better oppers in the region right now. And although it might free him up to go to a different team, the other thing is this Timberman core, Shane, Snav, Dare, and Shane, they've been on this same sort of core for how many seasons, how many years it almost seems now.
Ever since they were in band, they built this team. They got straight from open to advanced, won advanced that next season, and they've been in ECL ever since. They've bounced around that lower playoffs, 5th place, 6th place relegation area. They have played in, I think, 1 or 2 relegations at this point, but it feels like at this point, at this stage, they're just barely hanging on. They are not being that team that we saw contend for playoffs before. They're instead on the cusp. We need to see them stabilize. We need to see them reestablish a team because their roster is still in flux. We've seen quite a few names thrown around. We talked about I think Kel, Jitter, quite a few players have been filling up this 5th spot once Droid left, and we are now resting on Project 90. If he can slot in even reasonably well with even a little bit of promise, then they have to stick with it, because right now that's all Timbermen need to do. They need to build up once again with a solid 5.
They do need to build, but they still have to finish out season 45 of ECL. Now, let's look at our playing field here, the vetoes. Timbermen had that first ban, and they banned one of their 2 maps with a 0% win rate. That would be Inferno. It is gone. EG will ban Anubis, which is also the other map for Timbermen, where they have a 0% win rate, 0-4 on that one. So I think that's a nice little helpful ban for Timbermen's sake. They don't have to worry about playing Anubis. EG Black don't play it all too often. 2-0 record, but they haven't played it in a long time since Detonate. Now Wildcard was still known as Detonate. That's the last time that EG Black played on that map. But Nate, there's a map which Timbermen play more than double or almost more than double anything else in their map pool.
It's the map that everybody should know how to play. It's Mirage. It's Pugger's Paradise is the best way to put it. They played it, 22 times. They still have a negative record, 10-12, but it's still one of their best overall maps. They played it yesterday versus Take Flight. They also took it rather convincingly against Take Flight as well, 16-8. So they do have some promise on the map. EG Black, they don't shy away from Mirage either, but their record is 7-7, still far from perfect. They most recently played yesterday as well versus Nouns, and they lost it in that matchup 10-16. So both teams relatively comfortable on the map. We'll have to see how it plays out. Map 2, the pick of EG Black, is Overpass. This one makes sense. 9-3 record for EG Black. 3-11 record. Far worse for Timbermen. And because of that, I think if Timbermen want to have a shot, they have to take their map pick out the gate.
The other thing to mention, too, is that 2 of those Overpass wins for EG Black have come against the Timbermen. So there is that psychological advantage for EG Black. There is that doubt in the minds of the Timbermen, not to mention an abysmal 3-11 record. I think that Overpass definitely does favor EG Black, and that's a very good ban for that, or pick from them. Timbermen will remove Nuke, though. Another one they don't play too often. 5 times played, 2-3 record. Their only wins coming against Mythic. EG destroying Ancient here, as that is one of Timbermen's best maps. And EG Black, they don't want to take any chances. They would rather have this one end on Vertigo. Now, EG Black do have a 3-game loss streak on that map, Nate. But the teams to which they have lost are what stand out here. Their 3-game loss streak is against Ecstatic, Imperial, and Furia.
Well, Furia kind of stands out to me for different reasons, but Imperial and Ecstatic specifically, kind of tier above, some would say. It's kind of upper tier tournaments. Of course, that game against Ecstatic coming at ESL Challenger Melbourne. It was one of the matchups. I knew that, ESL Challenger Melbourne, and that was a loss 11-16. That was at the end of April, 4/29. And so, yeah, it's 3 losses against top-tier teams, 3 wins, I'm assuming, coming from more domestic competition. Sure, their record doesn't look the best on paper. It looks better for Timbermen, but Timbermen, not much better. It's only 6-4 overall record for them.
Yeah, losses to Pain, to Fluffy Aimers as well. Their wins coming against B-Hop, Detonate, and Party Astronauts, which does stick out as a positive result. So there is that for the Timbermen. But again, does it even get to 3, Nate? I think that is where things need to rest right now. Because Vertigo, sure, it might happen. But realistically, should it get to a 3rd map, given EG Black, given their caliber, and given Timbermen's slump as of late?
It's a great question. Again, a lot up in the air for Timbermen. Things already weren't looking good. But then, of course, they went along. They've found a new 5th in Project 90. That just leaves a lot in the air to me. It does not instill confidence either in Timbermen. EG Black have looked incredibly good recently. They have Junior as a fiery opper. They have Hex Rush, a very deep core overall for EG Black. And that just gives me all the more confidence in them. Just being honest, I think this is going to be a 2-0 in favor of EG Black.
I have to agree. It should be a 2-0 in favor of EG Black for more reasons than just that core. The fact that Timbermen just haven't been the same as of late. The fact that Timbermen are slotting a new player into the roster, somebody they have not played with yet in an official, is another big red flag. And the veto does have to favor EG Black as well. But one thing I am very excited to watch is the Oppers duel between Dare and Junior. That's a top quality Oppers duel in North America. The only two players I could think of that might be better than those two would be OC and, well, really, I think, who else maybe? Maybe Ponalone? But other than that, as far as Oppers are concerned at this level or even in the whole region, I don't know if there's anyone else.
No, these are the two stars of ECL right now. 100%. Dare often putting the team on his back for Timbermen. Junior doing his job as a spear point for EG Black. The duel of the Oppers specifically on Overpass, but also more or less on Mirage is going to be very interesting. I think we got two very entertaining op maps to start off this series.
Will it be 2? Will it be 3? EG Black or Timbermen? Who will claim this victory? Find out, folks, when we return after the break.
There's fire in the atmosphere, moving in synergy, this electricity. The power of the pioneers, tearing through history, this is our destiny. We are the power, we are the change, we are the pioneers of paradise and fame. We push it louder like hurricanes. We are the pioneers, we are the pioneers.
EG Black versus Timbermen. Map 1 is upon us. The pick of Timbermen, one of their most played map. Their most played map by far, Mirage. Pineapple Phillips joined by Boggs and Timbermen. They have the burden of starting on the T side of their own map pick. And they'll start with an early play over towards Via Walk, a contact play. Hext is here. He jump spotting with Molotov, gets the information, throws it, heads back away. Can he survive? Can he find one before falling? He's going to play back sight. Shane will get control, but he won't force the issue. Hex swings, finds one good trade from Frankie, keeps things even. Frankie, though, is low on HP, and there's not smokes to cover every single crossing. Rush towards doors, lurking for something. He knows these players are probably towards bench, probably peeking back sight, but Timbermen are playing disciplined. Their post-plant spots aren't the most commanding, but they're being held truly.
Quick frags back by Walco and Georgia, opening the door here for EG, getting back into the site. Bomb ticking away. Frankie, last man standing. Junior puts him down. Walco allows Junior to get the defuse, who has that kit picked up. And EG Black, pistol round victory, but they do surrender the bomb plant, meaning Timbermen can force up into this next round. Now, Nate, we've seen a Timberman that does force into everything. We've also seen this team not buy it all on second rounds. They are going to do the former and not the latter. Galil's on 4, Scout for Dare. Their utility, Nate, I don't think I've ever seen a team with this much utility.
This much? It's so much. In fact, 2 smokes. One will go towards window immediately, so effectively 1 smoke. Walco passes the cat jump, and Junior's there to support. He'll find the first on the AUG, and now Walco
got it through the smoke in mid.
Positioning.
What? Got it through the window smoke.
I think he jumped right before the smoke bloomed.
No, Junior got the kill through the window smoke.
Oh, Junior got the kill through the window smoke?
Yup. So one of their 2 smokes ends up going against them with that opening pick by Junior.
I think it was a little bit of luck. I don't think it was actually a one-way.
No, it had the smoke icon on there, so my assumption is there was no one-way.
Yeah.
It could have been the radar ping given vision.
Yeah,
by
because I
Walco.
think it was spotted by Walco as he jumped up.
Yeah. That's
Regardless,
my guess.
it's a big one to find, and it makes that smoke, again, as you mentioned, essentially useless.
Negative efficacy.
You trade utility for control, and when you lose a player while using utility, it's like you lost on 2 fronts.
They just re-smoked window, too.
No, they only had 2 smokes. They still have 1 remaining for Project 90.
Well, there's a smoke in window that just got thrown.
There is. Did they have 3 smokes?
Maybe they picked it up off Walco.
Maybe. George, in the meanwhile, finds another, furthering the advantage. Project 90, the newest addition, and Shane, the last 2 alive. They have Galil's in hand, and Project 90 is going to race it down towards B. It's a lot of damage for it. Both players having a combined total of less than 100 now. We'll double back, but there's an aggressive flank, a voracious flank coming in from Rush. He's caught, though. Shane gets the kill. These 2 remaining players now can begin to fan out towards middle. Shane getting control of that player, rushing up underpass. They're going to go straight towards A. There are 2 defenders here, 1 window and 1 towards ramp. Shane will cross, but George finds him from behind. It is 2 kills going the way of EG in the end, and 3 surviving in the second to rebuke the force buy of Timbermen. The best start that could be asked for EG. They can now take this round slowly, win it cleanly, and establish a CT economy early on Mirage.
This MP9's gonna look to farm up that cash now. Junior may be getting to get another kill with that AUG through a smoke, or they'll just hit in window anyways. Nobody's challenging him. Timbermen all stuck in towards T-spawn. 3 players making their way through Palace, 2 down the ramp. Rush up close, has to be careful not to get picked off. He will swing for 1. Flash from George allows that kill. And he'll back away, not wanting to overextend. He made contact with a deagle, does not want him to run into another one, especially since he's already taken damage. He'll go up the scaffolding now and hang out, waiting for a Palace pop. But Timbermen scattering, retreating back towards spawn. A lot of time on the clock, so they can run it all the way back to B. But look at Hext, that other MP9, all the way into TV room. And they're just going to run right by. Oh, did he get spotted? He might have been. Yes, he did, but he's still going to be able to find the first kill and probably the second 200 Project 90. Walks right in. Junior swings for another out towards mid. Bomb is down. Last man in towards Palace is Dare, who retreats back towards T-spawn, but nothing he can really hope to do. This should be a flawless, and it will be a flawless for EG Black. Barely any damage taken. 40 44 damage taken across the whole entire team. You said it was a chance to build up some money, Nate. I think they did just that.
Even a clean, now having a solid bonus in round number 4 as the rifles come out. It's a solid buy for Timbermen. They are lacking utility on Shane, but they have the op and they have pretty much full utility otherwise. Should have a significant advantage in round number 4, but Evil Geniuses, an aggressive call with a lot of players towards middle, hitting the cat jump if I'm not mistaken, maybe one in the underpass. This could yield some early kills. The player underneath there clears it perfectly. He catches Walco through the edge of the smoke. That is a big opening to find. Question is, do they expect the second? Do they expect Hexed all the way up underpass? Yes is the answer. Project 90 exchanges blows, but the MP9 has done a lot of damage back and forth. Junior aggression in the apartments, finds the kill, finishes what his teammate started. The issue is Hext is still stuck behind enemy lines. He's caught in the underpass by Shane as he tries to escape. Advantage maintained for Timberman. George also tagged down by the op of Dare. Does give some damage in response, but the op has done its job at this point. Dare falling back. The bomb will be recovered. It's going to be a B site play, and this is the right call. There's nobody on B. Very well read from Timberman. They will essentially enter into an empty bomb site. From there, do Evil Geniuses call the save? Rush might go for a rifle. Other than that, I think that's the only real option following a bomb plant.
Nobody here at all. And not really even sign of a rotation from EG. This is probably just going to be a save from at least the rifles. Maybe Rush will try something, but it's a concession of a round here for EG. The bonus round only yielding 1 kill. Unless Rush can go do something else. Og will get dropped over. M4 can get dropped as well. Rush upgrades to a Galil. Presumably we'll see Junior go to the op. But not a bad round out of the Timbermen by any means. And a good start to a T side here where they need to start getting some rounds on the board very early. Not letting this EG squad get up to a huge lead on the defense. Also, can't let Junior get out of hand. When he gets hot, he scales forward immensely, and that's going to be a dangerous prospect for the Timbermen to face.
Seen a lot of flanks as well coming in from EG. We saw the MP9 through on the anti-eco round. That was round number 3, if I'm not mistaken. We saw Rush pushing ramp the round before that, all the way through T-spawn as well before he was caught. That was against the 4-spine round number 2. And then we also saw the AUG press in the apartments in the round prior from Junior. So a lot of aggression early from CTEG. Timbermen, they did well to call it out in the round prior. The question is, will EG slow things down? The answer is no for the moment. Walco in connectors caught by the op. Dare's off to a fiery start with his zoomed weapon. Meanwhile, Junior has yet to fire off a round in this round.
Snav still under window, waiting for a peek. Junior could get peeked on. He does, and he misses the shot. Shane just walks right across towards Chair and doesn't have to worry about a second attempt from Junior either. Just tosses utility in. It's a big miss by Junior to start things off. It was essentially a free kill. Now he's going to eat a little bit of molly damage as he retreats from the catwalk. Bricks. Still the man advantage for the Timbermen. George peeks out. Good flashbang in from Junior. And George sticks around for 2. Gets traded out, but he's brought it to a level 3v3. Rush tries to re-aggress, though. The dry swing into middle, punished by Shane. And now Timbermen a man advantage and the A site under control. Junior has to keep an eye on CT now, and he will start to creep his way down. Frankie holding close left. Not an easy clear for the opper of the Evil Geniuses. Frankie waiting on the angle. Does Junior hard clear it? Does he have the timing? Shadow shows. Frankie delivers. And Hexed with nothing to do in this round. This bomb can go down safe and sound. It's going to be another round for the Timbermen.
No doubt at this point, 1v3 is not feasible at all. Frankie as well, dropping the op of Junior, can pick that weapon up for Dare in the following. Things looking incredibly good for Timbermen once the rifles come out. They're finding early picks consistently towards middle. Both coming by Dare's hands as well, might I add, or at Dare's hands as well. He had the op pick towards connector, and he also had the op pick towards the underpass in the round prior. Doing incredibly good with the zoomed weapon. Hex trying to save an op of his own towards T-spawn. He's spotted. Will he survive? That's the question. He will find the first. The second, not quite. He doesn't survive either. Project 90, the young prospect, does trade his teammate. Timbermen ensure that no one on EG will save a weapon for the following. It leaves their economy all over the place. Hex has enough to invest, as does George, but no one else does. I'd guess it's going to be Kevlar and pistols. Maybe a player keeping a little bit of extra in the bank to ensure they can buy an op in the following. It is a little bit scarier than I thought it would be. It's going to be 2 5.7s, a Deagle, a FAMAS, and an MP9. No kit, but the weapons can definitely win this round by attrition.
Attrition might not be a bad idea. It's probably what they'll go for. AK's running in. First contact is flamed. Frankie with 2. Junior and Hex answer back, but the FAMAS only grabs 1. Junior body shot sprays for a third. Can he get the last? No, it's into a 1v1. EG have brought this close, but do they have it? Or is it going to be a case of close only counting in horseshoes and hand grenades? No hand grenade for George, but 1 for Shane. But full HP for the young North American rifler. A prospect who has done it on LAN. Whose level, individually, incredibly high. Long range 5.7 duel, though not exactly ideal, and Shane's going to make his way towards B. George will clear out the A site. Op in hand, most likely to swap to an AK. Shane's taking a lot of time. George can figure this out pretty quickly, but he is playing the smart. He's not trying to over-rotate. He's not trying to push through and just get into the open, get picked off easy. The 1v1 with this amount of time, very doable.
It's doable, but there's no kit. He does have a smoke at least. It's more utility than I would have expected. The issue is Shane has also taken advantage of the situation. He knows that George is likely not towards B. He's rotated up in towards the apartments. That makes things very difficult, especially with the time remaining now. Less than half. George will throw a smoke onto the bomb. This is an interesting spot. He will tap. Trying to draw the player out. There's the nade, there's the spam, and there's the kill for George. The question is, does he have time? No. Took a little bit too long to get to the site, but yeah. No, I don't think he can survive. Does he? Ooh, by 4 HP.
It's because of that plant so far away.
Yeah, if it was playing the default, he might not have survived.
Mm-hmm. I don't think he would have. Only 28 HP. Granted, he would have played a different angle and probably would have been closer to Cat, but still. I don't know if he gets out of there if it is a default plant or even like a Cat plant. So,
fortunate.
Lucky for George to survive, but unlucky to lose the round.
Gets to be in an AK. He keeps the economy of the T side very, very low. As you can see, only 1 player above 2K. They're in resetting range still, despite winning 3 in a row. And Junior still has more than enough money to go for the op, so he has that in hand. It's a very solid buy for EG and a very big opportunity for them in the same way that it's an opportunity for Timbermen. If they win this round, EG are going to be on a save once more. Lots of implications in this one. Minute 25 left and no openings found this time around. Instead, Timbermen far more hands-off towards the middle, far more passive. They're waiting for that EG aggression that we saw early on in this map.
Much more defaulty from EG. Passive CT hold. Walco not even holding chair, just holding for a cat run. Tossing a flash back towards his site mate in Hext. Utility having to be shuffled around by EG given their lack of full economy. Coming in, but Rush does catch Project 90 off. Walco beginning to push up middle as well. Good flashbang though. Does take care of 2. Snap on a Rush. George falling to Frankie. And a little bit of damage taken back by Shane, but Walco can't really refrag this 2 or 3v4. EG 2 on the B site, up on Cat, eating that nade. 1 lone A player is the op, but Hext, a very good fragger in his own right, takes care of 1. Junior's op shines, and that's some good support for the EG side as they gain a man advantage. Bomb recovered, rotating back towards A where Junior waits. They know he's here, but look at the time. 12 seconds here pretty quickly. It's going to tick down momentarily to dire times. Bomb does go down. Junior on top of triple. Should hear the footsteps. Shane jumps up to clear. Hex saves the day. And Frankie spotted out towards Tetris. The smoke will give him away. Frankie, what can he manage to do from here? Smokes himself out, but the pushes will come through. Hex taps. Molotov prepped. Out it goes. Walko the line swing, sidearm in hand. Sprayed down by one. Frankie looking for another. The time beginning to be his ally as it continues to get lower and lower. Hexed around the wall. And Junior to defuse. EG scrape away around victory. These holds, these retakes, Nate, they're very hectic.
Hectic, panicked almost at that point. It was well played by Frankie to find too. I like the jump for the Molotov as well. All around, he did everything he reasonably could. He just had a lack of HP. Literally killed through the wall at that final hurdle. Almost bought enough time, but in the end, close is only good enough in horseshoes and hand grenades. AK, 2 Deagles, 2 P250s for Timbermen. He got that bomb plant, so it allows Shane to go for the hero rifle. He has had a decent start for himself on map number 1, as has Frankie. EG, they have rifles across the board as well, but they're lacking. Rush has no utility. Hex is lacking some as well. And of course, they have no money in the bank. This is an opportunity, once again, much like round number 3 for EG, where they can build up an economy and hopefully come back into the CT side.
1-for-1 trades, but George flashed in, picks up a pair. Project 90 trades it back, but a rush eliminates Frankie in the interim. Project 90 down to 2 HP. Just keep it clean, EG. Don't lose another man. Project 90 denies 2 more. Rush is on no HP, but Project 90 looks up for Catwalk instead, and that's what saves Rush. The new kid on the block in his ECL debut goes and does that with a Deagle against one of the perennial playoff teams in this region of North America.
A crazy show of individual skill. Timbermen, they're here to play. We said look to Dare to be the shining star. In fact, he's one of the slower starters, as is Snav. Shane has some good rifling moments, as has Frankie. Project 90 showing moments of brilliance as well with that Deagle. This Timberman team is here to play. EG need to be respectful. Good start for the defending side, 2-for-1, but still an opportunity for this Timberman side. We've seen what Project 90 can do with the Deagle. He has a rifle in hand now. Still have some utility and plenty of time to work with as well. EG, no op, no sniper rifle in play. It's 3 rifles and an MP9 remaining for the defenders.
That bomb's still down C as well. It's far away. And Timbermen have no real plan to get this back. They're scaling around the map, one towards jungle. Junior doesn't expect a thing. He doesn't turn around. He gets stabbed in the back. And that opens up a lot of space for Timbermen to work. A good amount of time on the clock.
It's a power position as well in jungle. It's a very solid position to hold. It splits up the defense, and they've made the right read. Frankie's going towards B. There's only one defender here, and he's worried about market. Timing's everything on this duel.
No way.
X should blindside him. Oh no, Snap does the 180, or the 90-degree flick, I should say. Finds the kill on the Hex. That's a free B bomb site. Somehow Timbermen have bailed themselves out. 2 versus 2. The bomb plant should go down any second now. There we go on default. George and Rush, they will play together in this retake on the catwalk. No utility, no kit either to be spoken of, as they will just rely on aim and duels. George inching forward. Snav, those boosted up default. This is a very solid spot for him to be. George drops Frankie. Snav, though, a good position in the clutch. Finds the first, drops down, knows the second's here. He finds it. Snav, a tremendous individual play. An ace as well for him as he lurks in towards jungle and finds all 5. Timbermen, 1 away from tying it up, and they have also reset the defender's economy.
This should tie things up here. What an individual effort by Snav. Great read there. The team on Timbermen, picking up the pace here. Not just one individual, not just one man being that top frag, that domineering presence. It's a multitude of players. And that damage by Project 90 really coming into factor here too. If EG keep 3 alive that round, they're probably not dead broke this time. But those Deagle kills adding up. Just goes to show how fickle the CT economy is. Brick's boost being debated and now acted upon. Nobody really here to be punished though. Walco might just get caught playing the headshot angle. Project 90 being very coy about this. Dropping down, walking into con, hugging the angle. Junior, top of connector. Does he get hard cleared? It's a 50-50 clear angle. I think Project 90 is just waiting for someone to clear him instead. Doesn't see anything towards the spam. Junior, look, he doesn't clear his angle. It's a little hesitation, a little bit too slow on that. That opens up the A site entirely.
Does Hext, though, from Catwalk, will find one in towards connector. 4 versus 4 secure. This could get hectic with all the pistols coming in this direction. Frankie, though, finds the first dare, the second. Hext spamming, changing broadsides through the smoke and the wooden wall. Teammate George has come in towards window and jungle in the meanwhile. He'll swing with the 5-7, but at range, it really struggles to hit its mark. Hext in the chaos will drop Frankie as the smoke fades. So good damage done thus far. They would like to get at least a third. We create some lasting economic damage. Time is ticking away though. At this point, their best bet is saving rifles. Snav will drop Hex, trying to do exactly that. George, though, with the 5-7, does a lot of damage, a boatload of damage, in fact, dropping Snav to 1, but he can't get that ever so important third kill. Timbermen tie things up at 5 apiece, and EG, their force buy in round number 10, does not pay off.
Yeah, a little unlucky there for George, the long-range 5-7. Sometimes it works wonders. Sometimes it's a heartbreaker. That one just happens to be a Pat Benatar song. USPs now for EG. A 6th, all but secured for Timbermen. Just the Deagle on Hext. 1 kill, 2 kills. Would be nice to thin out that economy a little bit on Timbermen. Mac 10 for Project 90 in this round. A Galil for Shane, who has 2,500 in the bank. Just keeping his money up. But this round shouldn't have too much to stand on for EG, and it should be a pretty easy one to win for Timbermen, barring a walk into the trap that's been laid by the CT side. Bomb will be recovered momentarily. CG start to clear through Palace, taking their map control, getting the information, hexing nothing on that cat cross. Smoke guising off his vision, faded now, but the damage has been done. Bomb to make its way to a free B site. Project 90 ready to go out and clear. There should be a flash for him. Smoke will go out. Flashes should be following that. And Project 90, as soon as that pops, will be running out the window, tossing in one of his own, clearing out what is an empty B site, but it's good to see them following the protocol.
Yes, it is. Making sure to do your due diligence. Don't get caught out by a potential stack. Suss it out with your utility. Make sure that those angles are cleared. Hex, though,
Nifty.
does catch one probing. Catches Dare in window. That's an AK upgrade that they can save. Junior double dinks the Mac 10 player. Big play from the USP. Should not survive here. Snav should have the kill easily. I say that. He just walks right on by. It's the second AK recoverable. Mac 10 finds that. Sure, one player falls, as is a second, but these rifles should be saved. I say that. Shane finds 2. Frankie a 3rd. It's Walco, the last alive. He'll find a 4th, doing the lasting economic damage. I don't think he'll get a weapon to save, or will he? Running in the apartments, racing for it. He will grab an AK as the bomb goes off. Timbermen take away the lead 6-5, but Walco does snag the rifle to bring into round number 12.
Yeah, that was worth the damage, too, for EG. They were going to be able to buy in regardless. But taking out 4 of those rifles, or 4 of those guns, because one was a Mac 10 on the Timberman side, keeps their money in a pretty rough spot. Snav only $100, $14.50 for Shane, $18.50 for Project 90, Frankie at $600. It's not a pretty picture the Timbermen economy paints. Can't really say that much different for EG. And Walco gets picked off by Dare. I believe he was the one boosted up towards middle, just holding an angle. EG, the CT side, really floundering though on map number 1. Not boding well for a second half on a map that is pretty solidly CT sided as far as the meta has solidified itself in the tail end of CSGO.
It's very CT-sided for the most part. EG only have a 46.0 T round win percentage. 52.9 on the CT. Frankie spamming the smoke drops Rush. Rush has not been given any breaks. He's been caught by hard clears, by spams. Really just an unfortunate map for him. Hex, though, is trying to do his best to put the team in the backpack. 2 kills there to tie it back up. Bomb is dropped in no man's land as well behind a smoke. EG don't know that. So press forward. George with a flash finds one. Good flash thrown by Hext. Dare and Snav are left to pick up the pieces. Dare, he's had a relatively quiet first map. He's found a couple openings here and there. He found one in this very round, but can he bail a team out when they need him? Finds the first. Hex dropped towards CT spawn. George still towards stairs, however. And Junior is supporting. Junior finds the first with the op. Snav trades. Can Snav clutch it up to 1 versus 2. George over top. It's a sloppy spray, but he does get the kill. He does get the trade. And EG, it's an expensive round, but it's a round they get across the line.
It is a 6th on the board, but it's an ugly buy for both sides, forthcoming unless Timbermen decide to save or eco or half buy. It's been a pretty interesting game of Mirage where Timbermen have had some pretty solid rounds, EG have had some pretty solid rounds, and both teams have scrapped away for a win. So, Timbermen rather going for a full save? This is unusual. 2 deagles is all they buy. This kind of prudence is not typical of the Timbermen side, and it's actually going to concede a lead over to the Evil Geniuses. Junior going to pick off one. Now, I say it's going to concede a lead. This is, of course, an assumption, but a very logical assumption, given the buy. There's 3 for Junior, but if there's a gun you want to be getting these kills in this round, it's definitely not the op. It's not the rifle either.
There's an MP9 in Rush's hands.
Yeah. And it's sitting on A, anchoring.
He's scared to push. He's pressed ramp before. He's gone all the way to C spawn. He's just been blindsided by a hard clear. They'll just hold as he does. There's no upgrades to be found either since it's just pistols. George will find the final kill. 3 players really putting EG into the winners column. Junior, George, and Hext. 15 kills, and 14 kills respectively. 3 individuals shining atop the scoreboard for both teams. Only 2 rounds left in this half. EG, they did well to keep all 5 alive in the round prior. That means they're going to keep all 5 weapons here and now for round number 14. Timbermen, they will have an okay buy. They're lacking a lot of utility, but they do have an op, and they do have rifles otherwise.
That op for Dare, something you want to see be impactful. Junior's op, though, shines for the first, and he does back away. Dare a little too late on the peak. Retreating into Con. Project 90 coming in as Junior adds a second. Project 90's been pretty good when we've been able to see him in sort of these individual situations. It seems like when the camera's on him, gets a kill. So Project 90, from what I've seen, has a lot of potential so far. Yes, it is early days. It is literally the first time I'm actually watching Project 90 play. But it's been good to watch so far. That Deagle clip coming back to my mind. The duel taken there out towards middle as well. 4v3 still winnable for Timbermen. But Junior into a 4v2. Project 90 try to claw this back though. Let's see if the kid can deliver.
The young prospect found his second in the round. Needs more dares lurking across the map. He's just throwing a fake. And again, this power position in jungle becoming established. This time around, though, George is wise to it. He's holding in CT spawn, and that makes things incredibly difficult. Project 90, though, a third in the round, and that's the player holding this flank. Caught, hexed on catwalk in towards Get Right, has a lot to do. A player approaching from the apartments, a player pushing out Market Door. He'll find the first, he spots the second, does some damage. The up of Dare, though, can it pull it off? The answer is no. It misses the shot narrowly onto the first, and the second is holding from catwalk. That's Walco to get the kill. 8-6. Evil Genius is beginning to cement a bit of a lead on this CT side at the dying embers of the first half. It was not easy to get here. We've also seen a lot of individuals showing promise early on from Timbermen. Shane, Frankie, talked about Project 90. He got 3 in that round. He was the only one that even gave him a reason to try in that round.
That 9th looming here for EG. Would be a great recovery for them to get a 9th out of this half. But they still have to convert it, and the pistols, the deagles in the hands of Timbermen are not going to be something easy to unseat. Project 90 with the Galil, despite his efforts in the last round, just coming up short. Again, though, liking what I'm seeing from the kid so far. Granted, I don't know Project 90's age per se, but down goes George. Frankie's got that opener. That's a nice start.
What could be asked? He's not young. He's 23, though. So
Yeah.
reasonably young.
He's younger than us. Kid in our eyes.
Sure, we are boomers in Counter-Strike years.
Yeah. 1 year makes all the difference, man.
It does. Hext. Again, this aggression, this time towards the apartment. Still find 2. Dare and Project 90 dispatched. Rush finds the 3rd. Reining things in. The pistols can't do too much in a round like this. Shane, the last alive, is going to go hunting for some kills. Can't reasonably secure the round. He does have the bomb on his back, though. So if he can open up one of these sites or find an opening, he might just be able to get a bomb plant, and that would really help his team. Oh, what is the last round of the half? I thought it was round 13 for some reason. No reason to save, though. That's the other more important factor. Has to try for something. Walking up towards jungle again, this power position. This time, though, it's expected by Junior. He'll run in towards A. Heard by Rush. His opportunity to finally find a kill. There it is. 9-6. EG recover and stabilize. We'll see if they can continue to build a lead after the break.
It was 6-6, but EG claimed the last three to take a lead going into half number 2, the map pick of the Timbermen. Their most played, by the way. It's Boggs and Pineapple Phillips here on the call, the last day of the regular season for season 45 of ESL Challenger League. Just in time to finish playoffs for IM Dallas, Nate. Very considerate of them.
Very considerate. As those teams present to really prepare. And of course to compete. I'd say this is preparation enough.
Yeah. I mean, also, I had a cast during IEM Dallas last year. So I had to go drive home.
That sucks. I cannot imagine being a team having to play in an event like that and then having to spool down for an online event when you're supposed to be taking a break after such a taxing kind of situation. EG, though, spooling things up in this round towards B. Shane starts things off well, though, for the defenders. Over towards Van. He'll find one on Catwalk, but he'll be immediately traded, and Frankie does not fare better. George takes him down up close with the Glock. Snab towards Market Door will try to find something, but nothing is showing. He falls back. An awkward duel is won by George. George triples down. Actually, 4 kills into the round. He found the opening as well. He's on for the ace. Just dared towards Door. He's dinked. He's taken down. George finds an early ace on the pistol round and secures Evil Genius's 4th round in advantage and 10th round overall.
Critical pistol round for EG to win. And of course, it's George to put the boys in the backpack. 20-8. Hex just behind with 17-10. You put those two as a rifling duo, that's a very deadly pair in the North American region. Junior, 18-8. Second on the scoreboard. Those three make a very dangerous trio.
Yes, they do.
Might even say a treacherous trio.
And you know when individuals can really shine, Boggs?
Mirage, T-side.
T-side Mirage. See,
Yep.
T-side, you can just go in the opposite direction, you know? T-side, you can,
Yep.
you can re-spool, say, hey, the strong guys over there, go the opposite direction. Can't do that on the CT side. You have to wait for them to come to you. Expecting Hext and Junior to really heat, or George to really heat up. Junior will have a tougher time as an opera on the T side, but still can
He might just
definitely pop
rifle.
off. He might just rifle. Yeah, that's actually a good point.
He's very competent with it.
I see his exact call. Regardless, EG, a delayed mid-round take. Timbermen, we said they love to force, regardless of outcome, into the second round. It's not the case now, though. It's straight USPs. Hexton Connector will drop to first. That's Snab taken down. EG, a split towards B is the call, and no one's watching for it. The one player middle is Hexed. He will hold down the line. Finding one. He is dinked. He needs to be careful. EG, priority in this round isn't just winning, it's winning cleanly. Keeping all 5 players up so that you can build up a very solid T-side economy very quickly.
We might have back-to-back aces here, Nate. Oh, Junior!
Junior
You
wants
ruined the back-to-back aces, man.
He did. He wants a slice of the pie.
Yeah.
If George and Hext... Oh, actually, Hext did indeed. So if George stole the kill, it would have been both players at 21 kills.
Yep.
It would have been interesting. Hex has stolen away the kill crown for the time being. He's over... He and George, actually, and Junior are all at 2.0 KD or above.
And Walco and Rush are just kind of there for the ride. Walco, the IGL, now going to be put more to task with calling on this T side. And Rush, very unlucky in that first half. Now he can control a bit more of his destiny. So we should expect to see Rush improving on the scoreboard as the time goes on. Major champion, by the way.
Champion.
It has taken a lot to get used to him in ECL.
Still takes a lot to get used to.
It's like the fact that we get paid in ECL almost every season. And here they are with stickers in the game.
Yep. With MIVR to an extent.
Yeah.
Awkward duels towards ramp. Fakes, double fakes. Good play from Rush to clear the player close. Good entry. The air will trade, but a 4 versus 4 favors the T's. And Met 10 for an MP9 is honestly a good trade. The MP9 is a very scary weapon up close and personal.
Oh, yeah. I'd rather have the MP9 every single day of the week. 10 out of 10 times, give me the MP9. It's better damage. It's better accuracy. It's better at mid and long ranges. It's got better jumping accuracy. The MP9 is just kind of busted.
I will say, Timbermen's rotations were far more effective than EG's, at least in the early goings here. They didn't really pull a fake at all. They didn't draw any rotations, EG, so they're still walking into a stacked site, and as you can tell, they were not expecting that whatsoever. They all fall immediately. Timbermen keep 3 alive. They grab an AK as well. That is a very, very solid end to a round in favor of Timbermen.
Timeout called, and let's see who this is by. EG calling a timeout, a tactical pause this early into the half. But I think it's definitely well-deserved given the result of the last round. That rotation, or lack thereof, you mentioned, is something that EG will have to discuss. Because they didn't really throw as much utility as they probably would have on a full-on take. Didn't clear E-box, didn't clear sight. They just kind of got bullied.
They went
and
in
Timbermen
with,
have been very good at those aim duels.
No respect. Lost the duels individually and otherwise. Totally expected to pull a rotation, but it's a very different Timbermen to what they were expecting. So they're probably trying to glean something from that as they force buy in here and now. Walco is only on a Galil. Everybody else has AKs on this T side. Any concessions on the CTs? Not really. They're lacking a little bit of utility, but other than that, there's nothing to be spoken of. Maybe the lack of a helmet on Frankie. If you want to get that nitpicky, you might get one shot by a Galil instead, but acceptable compromise made there. Timbermen, dynamic on their CT side. A player in ladder, I believe, boosted up in Frankie. A lot of different looks from this defensive side.
Very slow into the mid-round. No contact made by either team. A little bit of utility broadsides being exchanged, but no actual fights just yet. Ranging shots, and that's about it. 50 seconds on the clock, and still nothing's happened, Nate. EG just waffling back and forth in T-spawn. It's like it's Dust 2 and they have the soccer ball over there. They're just kicking it about. Having a little kickabout and not actually making their way to a site. Finally grouping up towards A. 30 seconds to go. This is about a matchmaking strat as you can get here. Ace smokes with 30 seconds to go. I don't know how many times I've been called in an MM game in a pug. Frankie with Walco going down first, though, gets things off right for Timbermen. Rush trying to clear the side as Project 90 runs around into the open. Hex goes down. Lots of damage taken by Rush as he fell snap. Shane there for more. George only one. Team kill by Frankie, leaving Junior in a winnable 1v2 as the bomb is on the ground, ticking away. And I believe it is planted for him as well. No utility for him, but it's an inside triple plant. So not the worst spot, not the best for Junior. Smoke onto the bomb. Frankie making all the noise in the world, trying to bait out that peek for Dare. Frankie holding, Dare just baiting. Junior swings and comes up empty. Timbermen back on the board. And EG, I don't know what the game plan was in that round. It seemed like it was just built off of indecision and hesitancy.
It's a very hesitant play. A patchwork call as well there. They threw smokes towards jungle and towards stairs. They saw, I think it was a smoke out from CT from Timbermen. And they decided, yep, we're planting in there. That's going to be the safest spot. Project 90 is probably going to run in towards triple. This will keep me covered. But it was scrappy, it was not pretty, and it was just a last-ditch effort to at least get a bomb plant for EG. They did succeed in that endeavor, but they did not get a victory, not even close to it, I would say. Decent damage, though, does keep Timbermen's economy honest. No one has a lot saved up. Project 90 just over 2K. That's it, though. Nothing else to be spoken of. EG, though, are forced onto pistols. A Deagle, a couple P250s, a smoke. The Dream Snap starts things off right, dropping Hexed in towards Underpass. Frankie is second on Catwalk. Can't really expect much from the pistols here from EG.
A couple kills would be nice. We saw Project 90 do it all with the Deagle. Junior does get one, but there needs to be more out of this EG Black side. Rush does have that M4 now in hand, but Dare up in ladder has an angle through snipers. Connector the play. Maybe. EG are playing so slow, Nate. It's almost like they feel uncomfortable here out in middle, which is not uncommon. A lot of teams can fall into this trap of just stalling out in mid. It becomes a quagmire. And it's very difficult to navigate. You get stuck and you can't really get out. That's a bizarre smoke. Definitely not intentional, unless that was for the one-way. Project 90 and Frankie mop things up. Wasn't really a one-way, but that angle, just good, easy fight for Frankie to take. Timbermen closed the gap to 2.
And we see nothing promising from this attacking side either. They won the pistol in the ensuing second, but once the rifles came out, they have really struggled. Individuals have cooled off. Junior does have the op, though. Maybe an opportunity. Timbermen. All built on house cards. We have Frankie and Shane with some money in the bank, as does Snav. But they lose a round like this. It could very well damage their economy. We're going to have an early op duel, potentially over towards the apartments. Junior holding. The op, though, missed the jump up, and that compels Dare to look elsewhere instead. He's playing far more passive. Could have been an op duels, instead just a hold from Junior.
Will he get peeked? Will he get jump spotted? He's holding for it. Definitely wants it. Snav smoked out. Crosses over and actually engages with Hex. Gets the far better of that duel. Hex really no response. Finally, Snav takes some damage in return. Again, though, this EGT side it's flat. It's one-dimensional.
It's a B split. And Timbermen definitely know they have a player pressed underpass, or in towards A main, I should say. A player just spotting towards the palace. Here comes the play. George pathing out. Good pathing. But the op of Dare's waiting towards bench. It finds the opening. It spots the second and rush as well. It won't connect onto the third on Catwalk, but Snav and Shane are here to support, as is Frankie. Last alive, Walko towards Catwalk. The IGL can't do anything. It does 7 damage on the spam towards Dare, but falls by the very same op. Timbermen 1 away from tying it up. And again, EG looking transparent, looking red like a book, and looking lost, as they're now 1 away from a tied ball game.
They call another timeout, but unless there's a fundamental change that can be made with the way this team is playing this T side, it's not going to change anything. Because it's not a mentality thing, it's not a momentum thing, it's a base fundamental T side issue. And Timbermen were a lot more fluid on their T side. EG's is just kind of, it's slow.
It's slow and it's
lethargic.
It's red. It's not.
Yeah.
They're not even covering all their bases at the very least.
No.
They're still getting pressed. That player A ramp in the round prior basically guarantees it's not going to be an A play. Made players towards CT spawn ready for a fast rotation as required. It just looks far better for Timbermen, far more fluid and rehearsed. EG. What are they going to do in this round? It's half buy with Tech 9. So it looks like a fast A play with Smokes is on the cards. I like this call. Change of pace.
Maybe they should do it with the guns.
Maybe they should, but you know what? At least they're doing it at all.
Yeah. They're walking into a 3-stack, though. And no utility out. They get first contact by Snav, who actually wins that duel, but very belabored. Flashbang's fading. George gets an opportunity, and he does capitalize. Dare's on site. The flashbang saves it. The knife is out. George knifes Dare down to 7. Walko trades him out. But if George was able to get that kill, it would have been oh so good for EG. The bomb drops forward into CT, and Walko hits the deck as he had that M4 in hand. Another one of those weird smokes by Frank. He spots the leg on the angle, and now I see what that smoke's thrown for, and I like it a lot. just enabling that safer peek. Although it does kind of telegraph your position. EG have not been able to counter that. They've barely been aware of it. And Hext, he can't really do much. No bomb plan out of this round from EG is kind of really bad. Like,
Very
that
bad.
whole set piece is to get a bomb plan.
It's to file out, get a bomb plant, and maybe get a post plant with some rifles. They don't even get the bomb plant. Opt for Junior once again, but we see nothing compelling from EG. In fact, their most compelling round was that round prior that still had a lot of issues with it. Go for something quicker. Don't allow Timbermen to get the read and go from there. Rush is going to lurk towards A, in towards Palace. Show some presence here. 2 players middle showing presence and 2 towards B. Underpass to be specific. EG. They're going to go for mid control in this round, but they have to do something with it. They can't just sit around and hope to find an opening. They have to actually force the issue. The op of Dare in connector does leg 1. Wall go down to 20 early on. Another solid start for Timbermen.
This ramp control by Project 90 will have to be cleared out by EG. Frankie does get one traded back. That opens up some space. But it's George who falls and not the low HP Walco, leaving the advantage still in Timbermen's favor. EG's probing really hasn't accomplished much, Nate. If you could even say they probed. But there goes Walco. It was a one shot there. Project 90 revealed out towards ramp. Rush drops onto site. Project 90 still fighting. Wins it. Not clean, but he does it nonetheless. Now the op can post up on ticket. Junior just keeping an eye towards jungle. Hext will cross in front, but Dare is able to creep up top. Junior last man standing. Timbermen up to a 12. Unless Junior gets gifted 4 1v1 duels. The likelihood of that almost 0. Time so low. Project 90 thinking about going for the hunt here. Might as well with his health. He can just dry swing the op and hope to get a kill. Makes all the noise. Junior will deal with the first. They know where he is though. They will converge on his position. Junior might not get out of this one alive.
He does. There's no way. There's no way they're even close. Yeah. Post round timer is too short.
I thought they would have had a push from the CT guy too.
I think there was one. He was up on the balcony by the time the timer expired. But not enough to get there and actually take the duel proper. EG are going to force buy around this, given Junior's lack of economy. Going to be 4 Galils surrounding. Good utility. But they need a direction. I would have loved to see a pause coming into this round, given how compromised the buy is. But instead they're going to go out middle aggressively. George getting control quickly. Molotoving up towards top connector. Hex is going to go in towards apartments and underpass. Where do they go from here? That's the most important question. Timbermen, again, another new look. Pushing in towards Palace with a player holding ramp from CT. It's just been diversity of styles from Timbermen. That's really been their strength. You could never know what to expect from this defense, and it's caught EG out time and time again.
Yep. And look how Timbermen just concede this middle portion of the map. They have confidence in their holds on the site, and why wouldn't they? It's been holding on very well, not really having too many shaky rounds, and EG kind of just spin their wheels out middle for a considerable chunk of the time, allowing Timbermen to really be able to get all this map control towards the extremities. Snav's pushed all the way through Palace. Project 90 still out towards scaffolding. Now that there's some sort of semblance of information towards B, the rotations can come through. Rush does trade one out, but eats a lot of damage there in this 4v4 situation. Up on the cross, Rush catches the timing. Junior does get one, but Hext falls in the interim. Frankie in towards jail. Rush slips into Van. There still is the Apps flank, though, in Snav. That's something the EG team needs to be very aware of. Rush reveals himself, but he does take down Frankie before he falls. Opportunity arriving as now the bomb can go into the wide-open A site. The audible called. Rush sells it. Hook, line, and sinker. Eaten up by the Timbermen. As EG look to get a 12th on the board, keep pace with the CT side, and try and sneak away with a late-round victory. I don't think Timbermen are even going to go for this either. They're taking their sweet time, and
They're playing like they know that George is here.
yeah, they are.
Clear it all out. Snap taking point is caught by George. The op of Dare shows itself but can't hit the shot. It's awkward. It's awkward, but they will combine fire in the end. George and Junior get it across the line. The auto will pays off in a huge way as EG finally put a round on the board, but is that kind of call replicable, Bonds?
Probably not. It took a hero play and a bit of luck for Rush to even get that kill from Van. So, I don't know. I don't think it's replicable, but it's definitely worth some confidence building for EG. Maybe now they'll put some pressure towards the extremities. They do. Dare gets caught, loses the Opper's duel. Junior boosted up. And now, Nate, a run boost into middle? Has this woken the EG team up? Have they realized that it's time to fight with everything they have? That they can take some fights against the Timbermen and win?
Confidence is a very dangerous thing. EG getting control of middle. No, there's no op to worry about. And there's two players pressuring ramp. That's the most important key in this round. George knows it's a possibility. He'll lose the duel. Project 90 finds that. Split will come through. These players' ramp are now locked in, stuck behind enemy lines as EG swing through. Rush 1, Project 90 traded. Good kill from Walko, the IGL. Only two defenders remaining, Shane and Frankie. One underpass, one on fast flank. This might go unchecked. Walko bottom connector, or looking bottom connector, I should say, spots Frankie. He should get the kill as well. Yes, he does. Good push from the IGL. Last alive, totally unexpected though. Shane, a 1 versus 3. He's found the first. That's the up of Junior towards headshot. He still needs more. Smoke is down on the bomb. Rush though is playing towards top stairs. He gets the spot, the information, and Walko is the one to get the kill. These two individuals we said had a slow start. The Walko, IGL, and the Rush unlucky on the CT side, but they have begun to awaken in the late stages of this first map.
They're waking up. It took them a while, a couple of timeouts, and a bit of individual effort. But they're getting into this one now. They're starting to pick up the pace. They're starting to take fights with confidence, and they've reset the Timbermen. An opportunity, what should be a 14th here for EG, and all but securing themselves over time. Half damage taken by Project 90 on that nade. I guess we can call him Project 40 now, because he's missing 50 health.
That was a good one. Junior again opening it up with the op as well. He's begun to awaken on this T side. We said he would be the slowest to start. He's actually starting off better than George and Hex did. Sure, they both had, like, I think a 4-cannon ace respectively, but Junior's the one to actually do the heavy lifting once the going gets tough. It's just pistols. The issue is the pistols are getting aggressive. Timbermen not dissuaded from playing their own style, and this player pushing in towards apartments might just go unchecked. He finds one. Good trade from Junior. Walko finds Snab as well. Still a player aggressed, though. He's in towards underpass. That's Dare, and Project 90, the meanwhile, is down to just 1 now. Does have a Galil, however. He did drop a second. EG gonna go towards B, gonna get the bomb plant down, and Dare in towards apartments was definitely hurt. The Molotov tick betrays his positioning. Walko should have this kill for free. Yes, he does. And Project 90 should probably save this Galil or another rifle elsewhere for the next round. Yeah, he'll grab an AK. It'll be 14 for EG.
He might get... Oh, he's holding for a fight. Walko might just give it to him, too. Money's not great for the T side, but Walko's going to keep walking through. Won't run into Project 90, who's fallen all the way back to Palace, or Ramp. He's trying to stay alive here. We'll save the AK. That'll help out a little bit. Dare should get dropped and off by Shane. That is indeed the trade. But EG now. This is now their time to reel this map in and put it in their bucket, Nate. This is their opportunity to salt this one away.
Yes,
If they let this slip, it might just be Timberman 16-14.
A lot running around like this that could really break the CT economy. That's a good start. Hex getting out middle. I don't know if the op spotted him either. He'll find the player bottom connector. Hex dropping Snav. Dare is still alive though. We talked about how fiery his op can be. Hex though is not overextending towards top middle. He's happy with the advantage. Finally begin to probe once again. Dare misses the opportunity. Junior capitalizes, dropping Frankie. Smoke window, and the player catwalk is being held for as well. Junior's ready for this Opper's duel. He's jumping up. He's going to cross. What a good flash. Keeps him alive. Project 90 drops George. Hex, though, finds Project 90 in response. Junior wins the op duel yet again, and it leaves just Shane. A 1 versus 4 to keep this team alive on their own map pick. He loses this round. Might as well be the map by extension. In towards window. He's locked in. There's nowhere for him to go, and he's tagged through the wall to add insult to injury. Hex puts him to bed. 15-12. EG very slow to start. In fact, concerningly slow on Mirage. But here in the second half, they have finally found their footing.
They have indeed. It took them a while, but once they built up that confidence again, EG just started going on a streak. 1 round away in the bye to oppose them is not ideal. 3 FAMASes, no kit at all, Nate. Project 90 and Shane committing the cardinal sin. An MP9 and an M4A4. Minimal utility, just 1 piece for player. Oh, this is EG's chance. If they do not win this round, they have squandered a massive opportunity to take away the map pick of the Timbermen and go into a map which is very good for the EG team. This can set it up.
Good. This is aggressive underpass setup. Again, Timbermen, a variety of strats in mind. It is being held for. It is being respected at the moment by George. Will he actually get the clear? Drop is heard. He'll swing in. He'll lose the duel. Good one found by the young prospect in Project 90. They still need more. They're still disadvantaged in riflery and utility. There's a lot towards the middle, though, from both teams. Dare finds one Russian junior trade in response, and Hex is lurked out ramp. This is a lot of control to be taken. It's going to be an A play, and Hex timing's everything. He's looking for Project 90 as the smoke fades. He should have the kill. No, Project 90 slinked away. Timbermen are making the right read at the moment with this rotation towards A, but will it be enough to rebuke the take? Rush. Going to lurk out ramp. Molotov thrown towards jungle. Flash over towards connector for his teammate Hex to cross into window. Good adjustment by Timberman, however. Shane jumping up. Anybody's round. 3 versus 3. Rush falls back towards the post plant. Time's ticking away, and there is no kit present for Timberman. Hex holding, doesn't win the dual window. Shane wins the first, passes the first hurdle. Project 90 will scale forward. His potential adversary in Palace is tagged. Project 90 instead drops Rush. It's only Junior, and his positioning is known. 29 kills to his name. It would require 32 for him to clutch, and it doesn't seem possible. He's falling away. He's saving his op for another day. And so Timberman will stay alive with a 13th on the board.
EG, they had some good map control, but once they got onto the site, they just couldn't hold on the post plants. That duel by Hex was kind of the critical piece to the puzzle. He wins that fight. Jungle's on lock, and the last 2 are coming from the same angle. They can play a little bit more time. Rush getting caught out in the middle of nowhere from Tetris, too. Doesn't help the cause at all. Timberman still without the op, but a chance to claw this one back. The money for EG is all right. A bomb plant, and they should all be fine going to round 30 if they lose this one. They're not looking to lose this one, Nate. They were thinking about going all in, but the Molotov timed just enough to keep them from flooding out the ramp. 4 players from Timberman in middle again. All this importance being placed on this section of the map right now, opening up the extremities, entirely opening up the A site for the EG squad. If they realize this, they can get it free, they can get the bomb down. And I think Walco is just being left here to lurk, but Timbermen are adjusting well off of this. Information from these smokes and Molotovs going to be called. Counter utility rotations coming in from Timbermen. They're ready to receive this hit.
Smokestone. Walco has chimed in with his lurk. He found one. Will he expect the second? No. He almost found the flick, but Snav is too quick with the headshot. Good kill in response, and EG have still not scaled out. They let the smokes fizzle, and that is now a big opportunity for the Timberman defense. They'll push forward with the flashes. George is spamming smokes out of desperation, but EG let those smokes fizzle. Such a big thing that they let fade. 1-for-1 dare finds George Jr. Gets the trade. Bomb finally hits dirt, but can they hold off the retake? Rush will drop Snav. A good one to find. Leaves just Shane now in the clutch, and he can't find it versus the op. They stumble in the first attempt, but they do get it here and now. EG do get it across the line. They take their opponent's map pick 16-13, but it was very touch and go for a long while in this first map.
Touch and go is putting it lightly. That was a very scrappy game, all things considered, for EG. A lot of interesting decisions on this T side, which Timberman definitely had the better of the reads. EG just came up with some critical kills, finding space and opening things up, enabling stronger holds as well. That really was what won out on the T side. They started being able to get more extremity information. They started adapting towards the tail end of it, but still, issues were there for EG. I think that's definitely going to be a map to go back and look for them. They could definitely have done a lot better on the map. Timberman probably a little upset to not have taken that one away. They had a lot of opportunities.
A lot of very big opportunities, and in the end, I feel like it was the individuals for EG Black that really bailed them out. Not even the top stars necessarily. Sure, Junior was very instrumental later on in that map, but I'm talking about Rush and Walco. Both had some very impactful plays despite their absence from the overall scoreboard, specifically towards the end. The lurk from Walco really started things off in the round prior, really prevented the rotations from coming through. But again, as you mentioned, EG are not playing to their strengths as a team. They're playing to their strengths individually.
Yeah, it might work on Mirage. It might work against the Timbermen, but will it work against some of the teams they'll be playing in playoffs? I don't know. But a map like Overpass, which is map number 2, is a map where EG should be more on the team side of things. It is definitely a map they should have a lot more comfort on, and one which will definitely be a little bit more uncomfortable for their opposition. Again, a 3-11 record for the Timbermen on map number 2 versus 9-3 for EG. I don't know, Nate. Mirage kind of seemed like where it had to rest for Timbermen if they wanted a chance at third map and potential glory, taking down the evil geniuses. Now with Overpass and a map advantage, EG almost look like locked-in favorites to take this series.
They already looked like locked-in favorites, and then you realize that Junior dropped 30 or thereabouts, over 30 maybe. With the op on Mirage, we're entering the opper's paradise of Overpass. Like, it doesn't get much better for EG looking forward. If there's a silver lining to the very rusty Mirage, it is the fact that they do have Overpass in the back lines. Will EG Black take this one in 2-0 fashion, or will we head off to Vertigo? Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be back after the break.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
don't speak for a couple of weeks. I'll be in his place till he calls and says he's sorry. This situation's on repeat, just like a scratch on a CD. It just gets deeper when you hit rewind. How many nights will you make this decision? Nights ending tears and it's blurring your vision. You know he don't love you, what you holding on to. Scream through the phone even though he won't listen. So I'm still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left hearing you say that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than your rescue? I'm feeling kinda used, yeah, like a drug that you take when you're sick of crying all your tears away. Is that all I am? All I want is for you to be happy. You know this ain't healthy. Do I make you happy? How many nights will you make this decision? Nights ending tears and it's blurring your vision. You know he don't love you, what you holding on to. Scream through the phone even though he won't listen. So I'm still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left hearing you say that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than your rescue? I'm doing everything he doesn't do, but I'm still not enough. Even your parents know I'm good for you, but I'm still not enough. You wanna be done with him, you're stuck with him, 'cause you don't have the guts. And after all I've done, I'm still not enough. Still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left hearing you say that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than your rescue?
EG was lost in the second half of Mirage, but they found the secret read. They had some individuals show up, and in the end, they took their opponent's map pick 16-13. Now onto their own map pick. It is Overpass, and it is Boggs and Pineapple Phillips on the microphone. Timbermen have the luxury of the CT side, but again, we saw a stellar performance. Over a 30 bomb dropped by Junior. You have to expect he's coming into the second map fiery hot as well. EG, this round focused largely around connector. 3 players here, one towards Fountain, one holding towards Monster. The walk up the connector is on the cards for EG.
One lurk outside B main, ready to go through the tunnel. Walco leading the charge down con. Doors should be open. He has the utility, so he's the man who should be tossing the smoke and the flash in towards B. Probably a smoke for heaven. Dare up close and personal with those dualies. A dangerous one to have to weed out. But time marches on in this round. Walco throws that smoke towards heaven, but the bomb has made its way back up towards A. Is this all part of a fake here? It might be. I think it is. And Timbermen are starting to take the bait. George is going in to sell this one. 4 players down towards B. Dare just around the corner. George sees nothing. He's wondering what's going on. What in blazes is happening as his teammates are starting to fight towards A. Hex unable to control for the second kill, but Rush does take out Shane and Project 90. Bomb can go down now. The bomb's been spotted, yes. George still on the lurk. Junior with a P250 onto Frankie. And Dare left alone. No kit and only the dual Berettas to try and make this round work. It does not seem likely.
It's Kevlar at least, but doesn't seem likely. Holding the middle of the open, he almost found the first kill. He really gets across the line, but in the end he can't get it there. He'll fall back. He's going to try to save this Kevlar for the following, trying to goad a player into the fight. No one's biting, at least not yet. Slowly close in on his position. They need to go now. Rush is low on HP. Junior does get the kill. The P250 Super Soldier gets it done. Julie's recovered by Walco as well. No worries about the bomb detonation either. EG, a solid start on their T side of their own map pick. Again, it's Overpass. They took Mirage 16-13. That's a very solid start here on the second. Galil, a couple AKs, a MAC-10. At 2 Galils and 2 AKs along with the MAC-10. Timbermen, we knew they loved to force before. It's been a very different Timbermen in this series, though. A full save. Is there a Zeus on Project 90? I think so. Other than that,
there is
nothing to be spoken of.
I want to see Zeus cam. What is the Zeus doing? He's up towards short. This actually is possible. You can get a kill from there. If somebody walks into that angle, you can get a Zeus out of that. He's going to peek out, though. He's going to push forward. The Zeus, it's a gun of patience. Not really a gun. It's a weapon of patience.
More like fishing than shooting.
Yeah.
Wait for the bite and then be very quick on the set. Otherwise,
You got to make sure it's close enough to pull the hook, though. You got to set the hook. You can't just rush it, too.
It's an art.
It's a very fine line.
It is a potential second on the cards for Snav, as Rush is low on HP, but he's caught through. I didn't even know it was spammable with the. Oh no, it was hexed from water. I thought it was a spam through the concrete wall. It was through the wood paneling instead. Yeah.
I don't think that's Galil spammable. Though the cement.
Yeah, I was very confused. That's why I thought, what's going on?
Yeah.
But no, it is a Galil through the wood paneling instead. 4 players survive. It's pretty good for EG. Timbermen, though, very eager to bring out the rifles early on their CT sides. They will do so now, but they're lacking utility. They don't have a kit, and they have a Moss on Project 90. It leaves a lot to be desired. EG, very solid buy as well, with 2 AKs and 3 Galils, decent utility, and a relatively quick play towards water, getting control very aggressively. Player set up with the smoke to go for the set play as well. That's George in push T-spawn, and a very early boost that is expected, a counter boost, in fact, from default site. Fields the opening for Frankie and a second for Shane. Texton Jr. dispatched, and that is the best start the Timbermen could ask for in this B-site take.
George working his way towards side, rush around that smoke, trying to help his teammate who's fighting around. George running and gunning, gets the Galil spray onto the low HP Frankie. Rush might just get aggressed on by Project 90, who slipped through a smoke in towards short. The bomb's still outside Monster, and Rush has retreated to go pick that up. In the meantime, though, Walco's out on A. George finds another on B to add to Walco's tally. George taps for another. He's got 3 to open up the site and potentially the round entirely. Dare Unknown making his way through Khan. The bomb, though, has to cross. Rush had retreated, thinking of going all the way to A. And now he sits, watching for sewers, knows where Dare is. Rush should not be daring this fight. He needs to keep this bomb alive and get it down on the ground. He creeps forward through the pipe onto site as Dare runs up to A, expecting a rotation.
Sniper Heaven is pretty good though. Was scary for a moment there. Dare could have been holding the angle. Good flash from Walco, though, really guarantees the crossing there. And Dare should be expected here. The steps now definitely give him away. This should be a kill for Walco. A free one at that. There's the kill. Dare dropping down right into the crosshair. A 3-0 start for EG, and a round that did not look to be in their favor for a long while there. They lost 2 openings before finding any answers back. It was a 3 versus 5. And they still clawed back.
Great recovery from George. Individual effort. Monstrous individual effort to get that B-side open. And that's what we've come to love about George, Nate. Those kind of individual plays, those kind of multi-kills that just pull a team forward and make an unwinnable round winnable. Junior with the opening against Snav, who is starting this one out 0-4 now. Just the pistols here for Timbermen. Rush should be able to get this one on a Dare, and does. Not much that the Timbermen can really do in this round. Just the pistols out, and Project 90's Deagle silenced as well. Shane and Frankie around the George working his way out. Nice little headshot. And a one-tap. All right, he's online. That's back-to-back 3Ks, and this one a little bit cleaner against the pistols, but still. Add that to the kills he had last round. George is just getting better and better in this series.
He's also off to a fiery hot start. I haven't even seen Junior bring out the op yet. He hasn't needed to. It's just AKs across the board. Actually, 1 M4 for Rush that was recovered in that first rifle round. Timbermen do bring out a big green of their own. They have a kit. They have utility. This should be their chance to put a round on the board. The question is, where will Dare go with the big green in hand? It looks to be towards Fountain. He's peeking over the top. Will he find the opening? The answer is yes. Hext gets caught while Dare is blind. It's a very solid opening for the op of the CT side.
Still a chance for a refrag from EG. Looking to claw back into it. Time's still there. But no pushing from the Timbermen. A little bit of probing out A long. Just a player sitting out towards Flowers. But other than that, it's pretty much clear. Walco Walking out, good flashbang timing, spots the leg of Project 90, sprays away. Shane burns down to 20. Project 90 caught by George, who is traded by Frankie. 4v3 advantage still held by Timbermen, but it's so tenuous. Their HP 26 combined on site. Shane is blind in the smoke, escaping alive. Frankie there as well. Shane still tucked into barrels. They're not ready for him. Walco falls. Junior trades. Junior and Rush now to bring this back. 33 on the clock. 32, 31, 30. Still the man on site, low HP is Frankie. Heaven Smoke will dissipate soon enough. Frankie removed by Junior. Takes a little bit of damage, tosses the flash, but Dare still wins the fight against Rush. Junior spotted, retreating behind the pillar. Has to get the bomb down. Time is fleeting. He will manage the plant. The off spots him out. No, just the Heaven player. But the nade chunks him down a little bit more, softening him up. Dare thinking about peeking, tosses out utility, flashbang, Junior sprays. He does have vision back, but Dare with a stylish frag with the headshot to take down his counterpart. No op for Junior into this round, but probably going to see it come out into the next because Dare's op is basically what saves the Timbermen.
Definitely is. What an awkward take. So many flashes, so many blind players. The defender barrel, and I believe it was Walco, literally just clung to each other in sheer blindness for a solid second and a half, 2 seconds even. It's a very chaotic and hectic round, but it's a round that goes the way of Timbermen, largely because the op has activated Dare. He found the opening fountain. He found a second and a third over towards B to rebuke the take. Sure, the bomb got planted, but he still got the job done. He still got his team on the board. Evil Geniuses, though, have more than enough to buy in response. We have an op for Junior being brought out as well to challenge the likes of Dare. EG want to get this second map done in a clean fashion as well. Timbermen, their economy is still hamstrung. They have MP9 for Project 90, and the spam from Walco and Rush are good for 2. Project 90 and Shane both taken down. Junior finds yet another on the Dare, winning the op duel here as well as on Mirage. 5 versus 2 secured. Walco holding for a B short press. Snav and Frankie, at this point, want nothing to do with the round. You're going to let the bomb plant go down on A if they choose to do so. It will be more than likely a save from the 2 remaining defenders.
It should be a save. It'd best be a save, but EG want to make it not a save as they're still prowling around looking for these kills. They don't want anything moving over into the next round for the Timbermen. They want to make this as easy as possible for their own sakes. Bomb will finally be going down, though. EG realize they do have to get that to the ground if they want a chance to win the round. Rush. He does fall. But in the grand scheme of things, doesn't really bother EG too much. It's worth the risk. Wow, very pensive hunt from EG. I would have expected more pressure. But they're just going to take their time. Not really going to force the issue.
Nope. Build up their own economy instead. I can respect the call. Rush has 9k in the bank prior to the start of this round. He can easily invest into a rifle. EG already have 5 rounds out the gate, looking incredibly good on this T side of Overpass, and we do have a timeout called. It would make sense if it was called by the Timbermen, but
it was.
Okay, they did. They didn't call any timeouts in the last map, so definitely surprised to see it now, but talked about it. Timbermen normally do not call timeouts whatsoever. I am glad to see them begin to do so.
They've started doing it over the past season and a half, I would say. But it's once they tilt where they stop. So they haven't tilted quite yet, Nate.
It's reassuring. I suppose.
It is, isn't it?
Keep in mind, this is the weaker side for EG.
It's the weaker side for everybody.
It is. But, you know. have a 52% win rate and a 58% on the CT side, something absurd like that. Meanwhile, it's kind of neck and neck for Timbermen, like 47 and 48, something along those lines.
Both sub 50.
Yeah, both sub 50 is the key statistic there. Project 90 getting relatively close towards Monsters. A two-player setup here. I like this call. Another adjustment to this defense. The issue is nothing's gotten the ball rolling for them beyond the op of Dare. And of course, that op is not present in this round. A walk-in is spotted, but still won. Good kill from George, who's crossed the double-digit threshold, already at 10 kills to his name. And it's an immediate response from EG. They fall back towards A on a swivel. And Hex needs to be careful at Party. There's a player lurked up long in Dare, and he might just go unchecked.
Walko around the corner wins the fight. He does go check Nate. And Snav has also been spotted. Tosses a nade. Hex goes forward, and Junior's flash just a little bit too late, or Hex a little bit too early. Either way, Snav able to get a kill. Bring this back to a one-player difference. Frankie drops the bomb, and Junior. Nobody expecting him around. Molotov into divider, but Snav picks up a second kill. Rush again, 28 HP, still lurking down towards B. George has grabbed the bomb, though, and he's booking it towards B. Smoke goes out for Heaven. Project 90 needs two. Gets the first and the second. Composed from the man making his debut here in ESL Challenger League. And a second round on the board from Timbermen following the timeout. That is good. They needed a round on the board back. But already EG knocking on the door of 6, which is a solid T-side half on overpass. They get 7, 8. That's where Timbermen start to lose this half and start to lose this map. Things really start to slip away from them fast. As EG continue to stack rounds, they've already gotten those 5 again. It's already a decent score on overpass T-side. Everything more is just beginning to heap coals on the heads of Timbermen.
Yes, and this is another chance to isolate that victory for Timbermen. If EG win this round, they break the economy once more. They should have a 6th and a 7th by extension. And that is a more than respectable side, T-side half, as you mentioned. Timbermen pressuring a little bit towards short, but for the most part playing stock standard. In fact, playing quite passive over towards A. 2 towards the back end of bathrooms. It's a little off angle from Snab. The question is, will it actually snag a kill? Won't be presented one, at least not in the early going. Walko just clearing up long bathrooms instead. We saw a player entrenched here before. Let's walk forward. The Molotov from Hext will compel the retreat from the defense instead. Still just under a minute remaining. EG beginning to group up potentially for an A play. 4 players here, 1 towards long. I like the call. The issue is there are 3 defenders waiting.
There's kills going back and forth. Hex traded out by George, who doubles it up. A Molotov going for back dice as well, or did that land jump up? No, that was a back dice molly. George, though, taken down by Frankie, who's forced out by the flames and still picks up a pair. Walko salvaging it to a 2v2 and now to a man advantage. Sprays down the third, the in-game leader picking up the pace and the kills. And there's that 6th and most likely 7th round for the Evil Geniuses. Timbermen reset again. Big plays by both George and Walko, who's having himself a very good map here on map number 2. Especially as an in-game leader on the T side, Walko's put up some big numbers right now.
Walko is putting up some big numbers. Rush not nearly as high, sure, on the kill department, but still a more than respectable ADR approaching 100 or thereabouts. I think 95 was the ADR I saw before this round started. So the 2 players who are a little bit quieter on map 1, having good impact on map 2. Good flash for a peek. Frankie's not beheaded, but he doesn't find the kill either. There's 1 hero rifle in Frankie's hands. It's the FAMAS. There's a couple pistols surrounding, a 5.7, a pair of deagles, but should be an easy round to go through. Good press over towards Monster from Walko. Finds 2. He might have even spotted the 3rd. Project 90 in the Chaos will find 1 with the USP, but he's spotted and tagged down quite low. The issue is Snav is here to support, and he's found a 2nd. Hext is dispatched, just a 3 versus 3. EG, they need to stem the bleeding, put on a tourniquet. Keep this round convincing and clean. Junior, backside spots the boost up, misses the shot, though. He's falling back, needs to be careful against Dare here. Wins the duel quick with the op. this point, Snav should look to snag a rifle and then fall away for a save. It's the only real option. You won't even grab the rifle, just instead escort Project 90 out of the hot zone. 7-2, secured as we expected, but there is a silver lining at least in that AK saved by Project 90.
Yeah, not a bad save, and 2 kills isn't terrible. But the thing is, at this point, for Timbermen, these little small victories aren't enough. Yeah, it's nice to save the AK. Yeah, it's nice to get those 2 kills, but they need rounds, Nate. They need to get these rounds on the board. They've already surrendered 7. They're running out of time in this half. We're hitting round 10. EG might just have 80% of them.
Could very well. Rivals are out though. Couldn't really expect a victory in that round with that kind of investment. Here's where they need to put their foot down. If we want Timbermen to show us any signs of promise, it has to begin now. It has to begin with rounds strung together. Spam from Frankie early on finds nothing. It's a slower, more laid back round from EG as they know the pressure's on at this stage. George will again just show presence towards B as he's done so well. He is that steady B site hold from EG. And meanwhile, the bulk of this play is towards A. 2 pressuring towards along a third in tow. That's Rush. They're going to have to unseat the op of Dare, though. That is no small feat.
Dare's got no util. This is the opportunity. Jiggle reveals position. Dare misses the shot. He's going to try and fall all the way back. But EG aren't going to pressure. They're just going to fall away, start working towards B. Project 90 getting flashed in. Molotov prep for Sewer. Project 90 eats that shot from Junior, who picks up Shane in the interim. Project 90 down to 5 HP as well by virtue of the spray. And now EG going back up con towards A. Snav a messy spray, traded nicely. A nade finishes off Project 90 towards short. Dare is still on site, and he misses that shot. He can't afford to miss that. Hext will take him down. And Rush caught by Frankie. That's the bomb in the open, but Frankie eats so much damage off the Molotov. Nothing he could really do. 8 out of 10 for EG Black on this T side of Overpass.
It's another victory isolated.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
It's the key caveat to me. It leaves Timbermen with no money to try again. It leaves them back on pistols. 2-9 seems like an inevitability. And then from there, it's not long to go in that second half. And even then, EG can still secure 13 in this first half.
Next revealed. Nice fighting. It's Project 90. Crisp shot. Snav answers back with one of his own. That's a nice trade. Junior's op resting on the ground. Could be tossed out of the map here. And actually, Dare's just gone by Hext. Rush does not know he's here. Rush, rush, rush!
Timing could not be more unfortunate.
He had time, though. He had time to readjust to that.
Hold on his nade. George, okay, back to the taps on B. He will get 2. Snav trades it back. That's 2 on the Deagle in this round, but in the meanwhile, his compatriots have fallen. EG know where this last player is. He's towards B, and so they'll rush towards A instead. Bomb plant should be forthcoming. A Molotov connector to cover all their bases. Exactly the right call. That is where Snav is. Question is, will this defender attempt the retake? It is possible. But with a lack of kit and utility, it's going to be a hard-fought battle.
Yeah, it's not an easy 1v2 for Snav, especially with Hext and Walco playing buddy system too. Both towards bank, bomb planted truck. Snav making all the noise now. They know where he is, and Walco just taps him out. 9 rounds T-side Overpass.
Walco's 14-2.
Yeah, Walco's having a map, dude.
I knew he was having a map. I didn't know he had a 7.0 KD.
Well, he didn't until this last round.
That's
Prior,
true.
he had a 6.0 KD.
He still had an absurd amount of survivals. He might have actually fallen in the only 2 rounds they've lost.
I think because they haven't saved on T side. So,
here. Again, another challenge towards Fountain. This time around, though, nobody's given. There's an early lean towards B. One player connector, everybody else either short or monster. Junior with the op is challenging short. It's a straight flash play out. Project 90 the first, Project 90 a second up close and personal. George finally unseats him. That might be enough damage for the defenders to soak up. They've secured something, and they have in fact stalled EG's offensive. All three players grouping up and slowing down towards water. They're going to boost up. That's the adjustment call. The op of Dare that's already migrated down, and that makes things all the more difficult on this take.
It's George again. The boost pays off. There's still 2 players here, and Snav can rotate relatively quickly. The op down as well. But the utility, 1 smoke. That's what Snav has. He also has the kit. Flashing in is Junior. That's the last bit of utility for EG as they run into side. Frankie not cleared out of pit, and he will actually grab Walco. No more 7.0 KD, just a 4.33. George, though, there's his third. All headshots. He's online for sure. Junior chimes in. Snav makes the drop. Does not make the noise. Don't know where he's coming from, but Junior's on the angle, doesn't miss. Bomb goes down just after Junior gets the kill. Double digits for EG. How much further can they go before we hit halftime?
Should have a relatively easy going here. I say that. Snav actually goes for the investment. M4, Scout for Dare, Eagles, Project 90 and Frankie. Okay, so 1 hero rifle instead is the play. You've seen quite a few hero rifles from Timbermen in this map. Maybe a sign of desperation. Dare has a scout as well. Smoke towards short. Install this take, but again, it's a heavy lean towards B, and Volko's already out. The IGL tapping away, misses, splits the goalposts multiple times, and that is a kill given away for free. Kane found 1 hex to drop Project 90 in the smoke in response, but less than ideal start for EG on this take. The silver linings, they know it's pistols, and they know it's a compromised investment, so now they can play to their strengths. So now they can use their advantage in a riflery and win the round with confidence.
I mean, even if Timbermen get to 5, is that even enough to mount some sort of resistance? Because EG's CT side, 58.9%. A pistol round win rate just over 50. They've looked strong. They only have the confidence now backing this up. George and Rush, 2 quick kills, but Shane Eagle headshots. Gayota cannot get a third. Dare now with the scout, the last man alive. Nothing he can really do. This is a really tough gun to use in a 1v2 situation. No kit, no util, no upgrade. He does tag Junior and swap to a Deagle.
Okay. Does finish. Yeah, does finish where he started. Hex, though, will grab that up. And that kind of loss, while less than ideal for EG, can still be soaked up. There's only 2 rounds left in the half. They can easily reinvest here now. Timbermen also get a buy on deck with the op and full M4's kit to boot on Shane. But we've seen nothing to instill confidence from Timbermen. We've seen some cool individual plays. We saw another cool Deagle double kill like we did on Mirage, this time from Shane in towards Pit. But nothing to actually give them legs to stand on.
Yeah, it's not even a unicycle. There's just nothing. It's a pillow on the floor. Nothing holding it up. Trades back. Walco down again. He's died first in the last few rounds. Getting a little unlucky.
Selfless IGL.
Yeah. I mean, he's like, all right, I've had my fun. You guys can go get some kills. I'll create the space this time.
Although last time I did feel like he was really going for kills and just failed miserably, I won't lie. Oh, timing. Almost good for
so
Frankie.
unlucky.
That was so unlucky. He almost got that kill. 3 versus 3 secured, though. Dare dropping George in the meanwhile. Dare readjusting as well. He's had some impact on this CT side with the op, but not what you'd expect from an opper on overpass. X lurking up long.
Not of his caliber either.
Yeah, he's not really had a star-studded performance like we expected.
This is getting brutal. Molotov forcing Shane into the open. All up to Dare. Critical miss. 1v3. Kid available on the ground. Bomb will go down. Molotov off on his angle. Does he even try and save?
Yep. They'll try. They'll probably be allowed to save as well. What's the op going to do? It's going to be 12-2. Potentially even 13 for EG on the T side of Overpass. The series looked like it could go either way in the opener, but it's been a very different story on map 2.
Nate, I think it's safe to say EG are winning this map.
So EG are winning the series, is that what you're inferring?
I think so, yeah. I think it's safe to say that.
Fair. The individuals playing as they are, Hexed and Rush are at the bottom of with 9. It's tied with the top of Timbermen and Dare. It's not painting a pretty picture. And the buy from Timbermen is compromised. They lost the op. That means they're on FAMASas and MP9. 1 hero M4. No kits. A lack of utility. Desperation for Timbermen. Although I think we've seen desperation for many rounds at this point. DG can just run their default. In fact, they're actually going for something different once more. 3 just racing down long. 1 towards Fountain. 1 holding B. Far more passive than normal. That's George.
Oh, look at the con push, though. Frankie's behind him.
Frankie's
George
encircled by George. Oh, no, he is not. But will Frankie actually get this kill? Because he wants more. He's desperate. He will eventually pull the trigger, dropping Rush. It's only 1 kill. Need more than that. Snav's drop was definitely heard by Walco. He's now inching forward, looking for the opening. Good kill from Walco. Solid start. The 2 players towards CT are both smoked out as well. Dare jumping up in the chaos will find 1. Still recoverable. Rotations have come through. EG needs to either pivot or go in now while the smokes are still bloomed. Dare finds yet another from the same angle, pushing forward. George will find a response onto Frankie, but Dare answers in kind. It's just the op of Junior. 1 versus 3. He's found the first. He has some room, but what can he do with 40 seconds remaining?
Get a rifle and try and take a 1v1. I don't think the op is necessarily going to work in this situation, but if you can find a rifle, it's definitely viable. He's got enough time, and he's going to make the right rotation down to B. There has been no rotation down yet from either Shane or Project 90. They're playing the numbers game. They do not want to be divided and conquered. It's a good call. It's always a risk when you're in this kind of a situation. Do you stick together or do you split up? And I think Timbermen are making the prudent call. They do not have a kit, though, which is a bit of an issue. And again, if they give Junior the 1v1s, it is not going to go well for them. They are sticking together, though, is exactly what they need to do. And at what point does Junior check back towards heaven? He's been sprayed. He's almost taken down. Shane's closing the gap, running him down, but no scope from Junior. 1 more, does he have it in him? Project 90, spraying and praying. He has his prayers answered. And I think he's got the time. I don't hear the music. I think he's done it before. Yeah. 13-2 into the half, or 12-3. Not quite 13-2, but still. Indomitable lead for EG. And we'll see you in 3.
Timbermen do at least prevent the 13-2, but can they pull off the comeback? I don't think so. I'm just being completely honest. 3-12 is the score. I'm Pineapple Phillips, joined by Boggs and Timbermen. They're entering the tougher side of Overpass. It is the T side, and Evil Geniuses, they've looked calm, collected, studied up, and individually hot thus far in this second map. Hex on site has Dooley. He's going to be pressured. Will he get the kills? Flashes are good, but no clean frags to be found. In fact, he's caught. Walko will find one in the chaos. It's 1-for-1 thus far. Rush on the ramp. A very awkward duel is caught by Shane. George will trade his teammate, combining fire with a teammate. No, he won't find a second. Is that his dare to double down, leaving just Junior in the 1v3. 9 HP to his name. Sure, 2 players are tagged, but 1 versus 3 at this state seems near impossible. Swing comes in. Frankie finds the headshot with the Glock. And Timbermen, they do technically string 2 rounds together at long last. The question is, how long can they hold out before EG get rifles on board?
Not an ideal pistol round for EG, but a necessary win for Timbermen. If they were going to have a chance at a comeback here, they would need to win the pistol round. They got the bomb down. They won the round. They didn't allow too many kills from the Evil Geniuses either. The force is here for EG, though, and Walko on the scout, getting a tag on Project 90. Junior, scout of his own in hand as well. Armor on all 5 EG players. No rifles aside from the bolt-action taggers. It's the 5.7s of the Deagles. They look to do the cleanup job. Bomb. Not really looked at by Timbermen right now. Looking for information and picks. Not looking to do too much else right now. Walko, a chance for more. He's crosshair aiming for a tag though, Nate. And I like that call. It's a lot easier to get a body shot than it is to get a headshot. And with that kind of range, just tag him. Let your teammates bag him. It's a good 1-2 punch. It's exactly what the pistols need, especially up close and personal. Upgrade to a gun, don't take a lot of damage in a fight, and also make the T-side more hesitant in their facing.
Brings them right into Deagle range. It's perfect. It's a match made in heaven. Swing comes in. Good tag from Junior. Frankie and Shane chime in, but Junior finds a second, doubling down on the scout. It's a 3 versus 3. Snav and Shane are both incredibly low as well. This is very doable for the CT side. Shane finds one, but he's taken down. Hex finds the second player who's not tagged as well. Snav, 29 HP to Dream. He'll find nothing. Hex jumping up on the truck finds that kill. 3 for him in the round. 2 on the 5.7. And a swift answer from EG, as theoretically Timbermen tied together 2 rounds with the last of the first half and the first of the second, but realistically they have yet to get 2 rounds in a row on this second map.
And that's pretty rough. That's never a good sign. It's not a winning recipe. And Timbermen now gonna have to force back into this one. Yes, they could have saved, but they're on double eco anyway. So for Timbermen, this is almost what you could call their last stand. It's Deagles. It's armor. Junior needs to convert these kills. He does get 1. It's messy. Sprays away for a second. Tag down very low. Need to go out to cover his retreat. Teammates there as well to keep him alive. He's very low. He's able to reload. And he's able to back away towards the safety of A. Maybe even tossing an MP9 over to the SMG of Rush. We'll see. Deagle spam out. Hex deals with Dare. And George just waiting in con. Walko is there for more. Frankie tries to take contact, but George just pops out of con. There's 1 for Walko. Almost a team ace, but Walko has 2. 14-4. EG up by 10. And Timbermen forcing again. At least Dare is. Snav joins the party. Frankie as well.
They have to.
You can't even say that the force by worse have begun. It's just desperate.
It's a force by rebellion. Desperate against an ever-looming threat. Trying to delay the inevitable at this point.
And it's not even like it's an X-Wing versus the Death Star.
No.
It's a cloud car, Nate.
A 2012 Honda Pilot versus the Death Star, I think is the best way to put it. Frankie, though, is making a case for himself, making a case for the Honda Pilot. 2 kills, Shane a 3rd. Okay. Don't doubt it. Big box might have some gas left in the tank. Junior only 1. Snav in the meanwhile drops Rush. It's a 1 versus 4 for the Opera. All the players are tagged.
The bomb!
Oh, he might
He can
spot
get
it
the
as well.
bomb.
He might spot it. Timing's everything here. They're
He's heard
racing
it,
for
surely.
it. Yeah, they've heard each other. Junior does not
But look
want
at
to
the
take
health.
this duel, but he doesn't know. He doesn't have the luxury of information. He's gonna drop down Con. He's gonna get that kit as well. This is a
Does
very
he heard him.
round.
Surely. He knows. He has to know.
Big first. Now it's doable. Now you can commit. 1 versus 2 for Junior.
They've got 20 HP combined.
1-2. They don't even get across. Junior in towards water. Read them like a book ahead of the smoke or the flash and connector, excuse me. Ahead of the two rotating towards Monster and Timbermen. Stalled by the steps, psych themselves out, and give away what was a 1 versus 4 to the Opper of EG.
Desperation. Desperation. It's a desperate race against the buys and the race against time. And unfortunately for the Timbermen, there's no winged hussars to arrive. I don't know if they're going to be able to do too much here, Nate. 2 Galils and AK, make it 1 Galil and an AK as Hexton rush, delete the Galils. Project 91 onto Walco, but the nade from Junior finishes him off. Shane's Devo ringing out, countered by the M4 of Rush, who domes both him and Dare. That is GG, 15-16-4. 2 evil geniuses on map 2. An utterly dominating performance there in the second. Very close on Mirage, but Overpass really showcased the gulf between these two teams. And that's the thing, Nate. If you are a heavy favorite, you want to stay away from maps like Mirage, where things can get a little tight sometimes. But once you get a more broad map, a little more strategic map like an Overpass, things really start to separate.
Yes, they do. Mirage, we can talk about it quite a bit, was lackluster for EG early on in the second half. Their T-side, I really thought they were going to lose it, let it slip away. But they bought themselves just enough time with that 9-6 scoreline at the end of the first half. They found their footing. They came back. They won at 16-13. And honestly, that first map secured the series. Second map was not nearly as big an issue. 16-4 utter dominance. All 4 rounds won by Timbermen were islands on a sea of victories for EG Black, and they swiftly moved through that second map and onto a series victory.
Yeah, absolutely smooth as butter from EG on map number 2. Junior with that 1v4 to make it even cleaner, and then everybody chiming in on the last round. EG just put on a masterclass performance. The individuals were there. Walco fragging up with the rest of his players. Good IGL. Doing a lot on the fragging as well. And that solidifies at least EG have control of what of their destiny they can. I believe they hold the head-to-head against Fluffy Aimers, so they should have that 3rd seed locked in now. And as for Timbermen, they will be going to the relegation tournament. Did you receive info during the middle of this game where Timbermen were mathematically guaranteed to play relegation, regardless of whether or not they won or lost and the manner in which they won or lost? But still, going into relegation after losing the series by a 16-4 map is not exactly the kind of momentum you want to have going into a cutthroat experience.
It's definitely not. And only one actual win under their belt as well throughout the whole of the season, and that was against B-Hop, a team who went winless, realistically speaking. Of course, we're disregarding Team 1 as a forfeit. Definitely does not instill confidence in the team, but I'm hoping they have a little bit of time to practice before that relegation tournament. Figure things out, work Project 90 in. I will say the best thing I had hoped to see from this game was some signs of promise from him, and I definitely did see those signs of promise. If we can see some better integration of Project 90 into this roster, I do think that Timbermen can get through the relegation tournament intact and retain their spot in ECL.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think Project 90 had a lot of potential from what we got to see in this best of 3. Yes, it's an isolated sample size for both of us, but that was some good raw aim, some good decision making by Project 90. So I'm excited to see what he can do moving forward with this team. I'm hoping Timbermen can slot him in well. I'm hoping Dare can come back to the form that we've been able to see from him over the course of our observing this ECL season and even seasons past. And well, Timbermen, they usually find a way to hang on. They are very resilient. So we'll see what they can do in relegation. But Nate, that means after the Fluffy Aimers Nouns game is done, that's it for the regular season here in season 45.
Yes, it is. And Nouns, I don't know how they're doing. They have that opportunity for a flawless, as we mentioned before. They're looking very good. They actually took the first map 16-9. That was Mirage as well. And moving on to Inferno, their own map pick, a bastion of a map for them. So it looks like we do have the seeding more than likely figured out, with Nouns up top, Payne a second, EG Black should be third, and Fluffy Aimers should be fourth as well as the season concludes. That is the last game, as you mentioned, of the season. This is a rather exciting group of teams heading into playoff spots.
I agree. I think there's a lot of good teams heading into playoffs. Relegation's also going to be interesting to keep an eye on, but that means we're going to have to wrap things up and get ready for playoffs. Nate, any final thoughts before we kick it over to Mike and John?
Any final thoughts? No, I don't think so. This is interesting. PA, ATK, wildcard, main result. I think my biggest thought coming out of the season was wildcard were going to be good. I didn't think they were going to be that good.
Yeah, they've added a coach too, and a very solid coach of that, Mick's leaving that project, but I think they've found a good person to fill that hole, to fill that void, and we'll see what playoffs are looking like. But again, folks, Fluffy Aimers versus Nouns over on ESL_CSGO with Darth Mike and JRT. But on behalf of Pineapple Phillips, I've been Boggs, and we hope to see you all for the playoffs. Playoffs start on the 21st of this month, but we're not done just yet. Go head over to ESL_CSGO, say hi to Mike and John for us, and enjoy Fluffy Aimers versus Nouns, and we'll see you for the playoffs.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.